Ladies, gentlemen, it's been a while. I hope you've been well. I've been pretty good. I've been great. I wanted to make a video, and I'm going to cover 4 topics. Number 1 is, what have I been up to? The answer is not making videos about Half-Life mapping. I don't really map for Half-Life anymore, and I'll get into that a little bit later. You know, if you're wondering why I haven't been adding to the channel that much, it's just because Half-Life isn't that much of a part of my life anymore. A lot of those earlier videos that I made when I didn't have a job yet. I was fresh out of college. It was the COVID years. The job market was a very weird place at the time. You know, when you have a bunch of extra time, you want to do something with it. In that case, I wanted to make YouTube videos about something that I liked a lot, and I kind of expected it would get a little bit popular just because there wasn't really anything similar to it at the time. I just wanted something to do, and I eventually ended up getting a job working at Nestle. So the last 2 videos I produced were ones while I was working there, and it was becoming more and more unrealistic while I was working a full-time job. At the same time, I was going through grad school, but I was also studying for the CPA exams, which are hard, and I have since gotten my CPA license, and I've been working as a public accountant for a while now. That kind of culminated with me buying out an accounting firm and running my own firm as a certified public accountant. So my real passion is in tax returns and balance sheets, and so that's where I've been putting all my energy lately. I've also been working on more music. I plan on dropping an album soon. It's going to have Victim and, you know, some of the other songs that I released, but re-released with a little bit of a better mix. But in total, it's going to be 15 tracks, with only 3 of them being re-releases, and I'm really excited about that, and I hope people listen to it. Otherwise, I've been working on games. I've been working a lot in Game Maker. I've been messing around in Unity. I have all of these kind of on and off projects from over the years that I've been working on in my free time that I've never had a way to show people up until now, and I'm hoping to start showing those to people. But number 2, I want to talk a little bit about Half-Life. It's still one of my favorite games of all time. Not my favorite game of all time, but one of my favorites. After I made my videos, the community has just exploded and made all of these incredible things. Entropy 02 came out. That's one of the most inspirational mods I've ever seen ever. There's just too many projects to talk about. And the whole Valve documentary came out, which was an amazing watch, and all the new content that's come out for it. It's a wonderful time to be in the space, and I'm kind of sad that I missed out on continuing to make videos during that time, because, you know, when I look at my analytics, very clearly there's a huge bump following the release of that anniversary video of people getting back into Half-Life mapping, and I was just kind of stagnant during all of that time. But like I said before, I don't map for Half-Life as much anymore. It's Half-Life mapping and modding isn't as much of a part of my life as it used to be, and that's mostly because it's been replaced by game design. You know, I got into making Half-Life maps because, you know, I wanted to be a game designer, and I wanted to make experiences, and I wanted to build things and have other people experience them. And as I've built up more of my skills in music, art, and coding, I've realized that the sky is kind of the limit for just learning a proper engine and making a unique experience completely from scratch. One of the big problems with a lot of my mods is that they were constantly in denial about being Half-Life mods. You know, they were trying to be these overly ambitious Metal Gear Solid things where, you know, my friends are screwing around doing voice acting for it, telling these elaborate stories that nobody really cares about. They weren't very good. With designing a game from scratch, I get so much more control over the presentation and the moment-to-moment gameplay that it really completely renewed my inspiration for game design entirely. So that's where I've been putting all my effort. Number 3, I want to go over just some of my inspirations for making the channel. And so it'd be remiss of me not to mention, you know, lazy Blender tutorials. I didn't know a whole lot about 3D modeling, and I got into it because of these videos. And what I liked about them is that they were very short and snappy and to the point. They didn't tell you how to do exactly everything, but they gave you enough to figure out on your own what you can do. And I was hoping that my videos would be kind of similar to that. I wanted to very quickly brush through what the workflow looks like with faith that my audience would just kind of figure it out. Because the last thing that you want to see is, like, you know, a really slow paced 10-minute tutorial on how to do something really basic. You know, like, you don't need to show somebody how to use every single feature in a navigation pane. People can figure it out if they're really passionate about it. What you need to show them is what it's possible to do. Like, what are the high level concepts? What does the workflow look like? And number 4, future. I would like to get into making content about game development. I don't know how much my audience would be interested in making that leap from just modding Half-Life to making stuff from whole cloth, but I would love to dive into that space. It's a very busy space. It's one where there's a lot more competition, but it's also one that I'm very passionate about, and I think there's a lot of joy in it, and so I'm going to pursue joy. I'm going to go after joy. I've actually been working on a Christian video game that I can't wait to show people after I release my Christian album. That's what I've got in store for the future. Hopefully this isn't just going to linger on the channel too long without being followed up by something, probably with some album stuff. This is Dimbeek checking in. I hope you've all been well during these years. I know we're living through dark times as a population, as an age, as a people ununited, as a people separated, as a people torn apart by the ravages of society. There's so much pain, and I hope you guys are beating the pain. Either that or I hope you enjoy the pain. Either way, we were born on this earth to suffer greatly,